Hi, I'm Rocket from Wreckless Blenders, and welcome to another Musings from Rocket Cellar. In today's Musings, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our upcoming Curbside event for December 2020. There's a couple of shifts that we're going to have to make, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about our limited release wine that is available. So things are locked down pretty good right now. So we're not going to have the big curbside day where we can hang out and talk. So it's really going to be an opportunity to come by, purchase or pick up pre-purchased wine. So as much as I'd love to talk and spend some time with folks before Christmas, it's just not going to happen this time. So make sure you're safe, and we'll get through this. And we'll pick back up, and hopefully it'll be a little bit less restrictive in January, and maybe we can hang out a little bit safely, of course. That's a big deal, being safe through all this. And I just, heads up, you go to the website, to the store, and pre-purchase some wine. It's a great opportunity, good Christmas gifts. This is just, one of those things that you can get somebody. It's reasonable price, and we're happy to deliver inside of the Bay Area and inside the Sacramento area. So we're happy to go drop it off somewhere or ship, and that's easy enough, or you can come pick it up yourself. And this is always really good wine for the holidays because it really goes well with food, as well as it's good on its own. So it's also, you get to say, look, go check these guys out. They're so personable. At least I'm hoping we're personable. And, you can come by and say hi at some point in the future. And, it's a nice little story. And we make wine to enjoy right away. And it also lays down over time. So we've also got some library wines out there on the website as well. And we have a little bit of 2016 Barbera, which is, just unbelievably good. We have the 2014 Cabernet Franc, which can't say enough about. It's one of my favorites. And yes, you can razz me a little bit more about every one of these wines is one of my favorites. The 2014 Cab, though, Cabernet Franc, has something special about it. It's got all of these rich flavors, and it is not overpowering. It doesn't hurt you to drink. And it goes really well with all the different foods that are usually included in traditional Christmas and holiday dinners. Also, this is always good wine to share during New Year's. And I know this year is going to be very different than a lot of the years for most people, where it's going to be a lot smaller, and it's a good opportunity to enjoy a wine that is smaller with the smaller crowds. So you get more appreciation out of it. So there's some goodness going on there. Anyway, we have some limited release wine that's now available, and we're just now making this available. And there is a special URL that you need to know about to get to this, and that's right here. And it'll be part of the emails that go out to get there. And here's the deal with the limited release wine. This is usually wine where we have less than 45 to 60 bottles. So in this case, we have 12 bottles of this, and a lot of behind the scenes that happen around this wine. This is the Sacramento right here, and the Sacramento is an Italian grape that is pretty spectacular, very tannic, but not tannic in a take your enamel off your teeth way. It's tannic in a very flavorful way. This is a great wine. If you have a Napa Cab or a really heavy-duty tannic wine, and you have this wine and you do a side-by-side comparison, you really get a feel for the difference between wood tannins, oak tannins, and grape tannins or natural tannins. So I highly recommend doing that. And there's a lot of really good Napa Cabs, of course. There's lots of really good Napa Cabs that you can compare this with. And I have a pretty good sense that this will stand up to them. And it's different grape, different everything. So, but you're looking for the tannin flavors in it. So this particular wine, the Sacramento, it's Italian. It comes from Umbria. So I spent a lot of time looking for Umbrian images, right? So there's a Vespa image, you know, it's cool poppin' turquoise blue color with a nice flat black and white background, you know, grayscale background. So really that's kind of a cool image. There's some you know, architecture images that come along for the ride, of course. And so I spent a bit of time on this label because it's a special wine. And what we ended up doing in 2018 is we got 30 gallons of this. So it's not a huge amount. It's enough. It's not a huge amount. But that little bit went so far in some of our wines. In the Sangiovese, it really gave it this beautiful, we'll call it guts, if you will. It just boosted the Sangiovese in a way that surprised all of us. Surprised us in how effective it was. Didn't surprise us that it didn't overpower it, which was another big deal for us. So I think it's like 5% Sagrantino. And we were tasting this wine, you know, as I was saying, it's pretty special. It's a special grape. And we were tasting it, and JT had this moment when he first tasted it, and his eyes light up and his hair stands on end, and he's like, "That's tannins, the wild tannins." And as you can see here in the final label, you know, I have that full of wild tannins as part of the label. And I was looking, and what happened was, you know, I was looking for these Umbrian images, and when that happened, you know, when JT's, you know, the wild tannins, I started looking at wildlife. And as I shifted to wildlife, I found all these really great images. And one of the big things here was I found this image of this eagle, and you can see that image and the final label are very different. But I was able to contact the artist and get the rights and then take it from there and shift it to be a wine label. And these are also available as posters, and the posters look fantastic. They're 13 inches wide and 19 inches tall, and they look good both just a simple frame, and they also look really good on a matted frame. And I went as far as getting this put together in a 2-foot by 3-foot poster, piece of art really at that point, and framing it, and then I gave it to my sister, who is a fantastic wildlife photographer. And you can see some of the images that she's done over the years. Huge eagles, you know, lots and lots of eagles. So there was this really nice connection when I found this artist's image and her photography. And you know, you're seeing some images here that just knock me back every time I see it. And you're just like, how does somebody capture that, right? And so big shout out to her, Jann Nichols Photography. There'll be a link to her Instagram in the show notes on this one. So, right, so you can go to this website here. It's the online store with a special suffix, if you will, and then there'll be this available. Now we are tracking this tightly, so if it says there's none available, then sorry, there's none available. But it's definitely worth picking up a bottle, and if you're lucky enough to get a couple of bottles, get a couple or more, right? When it's gone, it's gone. We have Sagrantino in 2019, so the upcoming bottling. Now we haven't figured out what the blends are, so we don't know if we're going to have any available to sell on its own or if it's all going to end up in the blends, because we let the wines tell us what they want to do, right? We don't try and force the wines to do something that is unnatural. There are no unnatural acts with our wines. So, yeah, okay. Moving on. So, you know, the Curbside event, December 19th, this coming Saturday, and we're going to stay really chill on this one because we want to make sure that we're complying with all the different regulations that are out there right now, and we support those regulations. I know it's tough right now. It's tough because there's a lot of store owners and restaurant owners that are like, what the heck? What do we do here? And I completely appreciate that, as well as appreciate that right now it's a rough time. And I want to get through this safely, and I want to get through it. So with that, you know, I might have a one or two more of these before the year end, just to say thank you for an awesome year. So keep an eye out. Hopefully you're subscribed to these. and you can always be notified when any new one drops. So with that, I'm Rocket with Wreckless Blenders, and this has been another Musings from Rocket Cellar.